welcome to Couch Critics. Hi guys, we're Couch Critics, and today we're gonna review Anatomy of a Fall. Yes, which is a movie that recently won one Oscar.
I did not watch the Oscars. You did.
It won an Oscar, yeah, it did win
Mm.
one. And then Poor Things and Oppenheimer won all the others.
Oh wow.
They won a lot of Oscars.
Were you satisfied with the outcome of the Oscars?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of the same movies won way too many awards, whereas I think other
AKA
movies
Poor
deserve
Things?
Poor Things and Oppenheimer. Yeah,
Okay.
other movies deserved maybe a chance. Like Napoleon didn't win any Oscar. Anatomy of a
Mm.
Fall did, so that's good. But yeah, but they deserved it. Oppenheimer did deserve all the Oscars it got, and Emma definitely deserved the Best Actress Oscar. But yeah, it's just so many talents. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's another thing.
I did not watch the Oscars as I told you. I'm just catching up as you're talking about them. But I did watch Ryan Gosling's performance as Ken, and I loved it.
Honestly, that's all that mattered.
Yeah,
The
honestly,
Oscars.
yeah. But yeah, I know we did not review Poor Things, but
We did watch it.
we
and
did watch it. I honestly did not really like it.
I was shocked.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Like I get the hype, but it's too out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, and I was just talking about my friend about this
Yeah.
today, and a lot of people actually recently, movies are losing their, I don't want to say they're losing their decency, I think. They're losing their
Yeah.
innocence. Everything's becoming way too okay. And
Normalized.
yeah, way too normalized. And I don't know, there's a mystery that should
Mhm.
still be there even in movies, but that's a conversation for a different time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Look at us being prudish.
yes, honestly, someone needs to be
After watching The Dreamers and
Poor
All of Us
Things, All of Us
Strangers,
Strangers.
normal people.
Normal people, yes. Okay, but normal people, I think it was more justified in Normal
That's the
People.
word. Like I feel like some scenes are justified
Yes.
in those movies, and therefore they're necessary.
Yeah,
Although they're a bit uncomfortable
Yeah.
to watch. But whereas for poor people, it was just too much. Poor Things.
Yeah.
Too much.
no, Normal People, Poor Things.
Poor Things. Yeah.
It was too much.
The Anatomy of a Fall. Is it Anatomy of a Fall or The Anatomy of a Fall?
I think Anatomy of a Fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I really, really like the title because I feel like it describes what the movie is about.
I know.
The movie is about the anatomy of a fall and what are the components of an anatomy of a fall.
Yeah.
And
it was like, it's so self-explanatory. I thought at first it was something figuratively.
yeah,
And because you see also like the fall on the
Yeah.
poster of the movie,
Mhm.
and I didn't even notice it at first.
same. It's about this German writer who moves to Geneva,
Actually, I think it was France.
France. Okay, she moves to France with her French husband and her son, and it was right after their son had a car accident that made him lose his sight. She was having an interview because she's a writer. Her husband is a writer too. So she was having her interview, and when the interviewer left, her husband died. Like her son found her husband's body laying outside in the snow, and after that began a long trial that accused her of killing him. And so during the entire movie, we follow the trial and we try to understand whether she committed that murder or whether it was whether he killed himself.
What do you think? Do you think that she committed the murder, or do you think that he killed himself?
Well, I think that okay, so there is this huge build-up in the movie that leads you to like doubt and to like think that she might have done it, but I really want to believe that she didn't do it, and I want the ending to be so obvious and so absurd and so disappointing because I feel like now everyone want to have like this wow effect, and to just have a disappointing ending is a risk that could be taken and that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know what to think. I was really confused all along. What I think happened is that they were fighting and he tripped after fighting, but she never mentioned that they were fighting because I don't think he killed himself. I would more believe I believe more that it was an accident. But yeah, I don't think that she killed him either. I just think that they were fighting and he tried, but she never mentioned the fight because she didn't want to
Mhm.
seem guilty. But yeah.
Also, I think that since they're both writers, they need this. They need everything to be grandiose. And so I feel like her husband, so to me he's a vicious person because during he just randomly decided to start recording their fights for
Yes.
fighting material. So to me this is maybe a material. Maybe he's I wouldn't say insanity. He was just very mentally unstable,
Hmm.
but maybe that led him to like want to jump off a cliff in order to do something great because I don't know. Like after we've seen so many movies about writers, and they just live in a different dimension, and
Yes,
and so
they're in their head.
everything's possible in their world.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, I think he just wants to be dramatic. I feel bad for saying it, knowing how dramatic I am, but I think that's it.
Yeah, and also they were fighting so much that maybe he wanted her to go to jail, and that was his revenge.
Oh,
So by leaving a cliffhanger and not answering the main question of the movie, which is if she did or did not commit the crime, it leaves all of these unanswered questions. But it's great because like you get to have all of these conversations.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And now that you're mentioning cliffhangers, there's something I've been thinking about
Mm.
for like after the movie ended, because when the movie ends, there's this tension between Sandra and her lawyer.
Yeah.
And at some point, I thought they were gonna kiss, and they
Yeah.
didn't. And to me, that was just so powerful that they did
Mhm.
it, because I would have been a bit disappointed if they did. I would understand them developing feelings for each other throughout the trial, but I don't know. I feel like the fact that they didn't kiss even like made
Mhm.
it even a bigger like
Yeah.
of a cliffhanger of an ending. They might end up together afterwards, just that at that moment it was a nice.
They're not obvious characters. They're very
Yeah.
ambiguous, and it takes time to understand them. And also, the main character, Sandra, you seem to believe what she's saying at times, but like at other times, you just look at her and you see all of these darkness in her
Hmm.
eyes, and you're just like, yeah, maybe she did it. Like even her son at a certain point started doubting her, and he started asking himself whether or not his mom did kill his father.
Yeah.
And it's such a great cast. And also, I really like the Fringlish in the movie.
Yes, I loved
Yeah,
it. And their French, I don't know, like it was nice. It was refreshing
yeah.
to see a movie being mixed in different languages.
Whole conversation about middle ground. There was this scene where she was talking about her husband, and she's German, he's French, and he was asking her why they were forcing their son to speak English around them, and she was like, "This is the middle ground because I'm German and you're French, so I don't have to adapt to your language. You don't have to adapt to mine. Let's find a middle ground." And
Yeah.
yeah, that's another debate.
I think it was a very, I love that conversation. I love that fight. I think it's what accentuated their different personalities. I love Sandra as a character, but I also think that she was in the wrong, as well as Samuel, her husband.
Yeah.
I think that she was more of a narcissistic person, and her husband was more of a, I don't want to say narcissistic, but he's the kind of person who likes to be the victim,
Mhm.
and that makes such perfect in a bad way kind
Yeah.
of couple, because people who tend to want to be victims end up
Mhm.
usually with narcissists so that they have someone to blame on their, in this case, failures, because
Mhm.
he was a writer, but he never finished any of the books he started writing. And I just think it was such a fun dynamic to play with in
Yeah.
terms of script writing and the whole movie.
No, I definitely agree. I think that they were both in the wrong, and they were both so extreme in the way that they saw the world and in their emotion. And you could see her point, but you could also see his when he pitched her this idea of a book, and just because he was going through a hard time, he wasn't able to write that book at a time. So she wrote the book, and for him it was a total plagiat. So like he couldn't get over the fact that she stole his idea. So at the same time, since there was no book, she was allowed to write it because
Yeah.
it was about their son's story, so she had every right to write a book about a story that's inspired about their son. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really like that movie. How do you feel about the choice of the music, the song,
Oh yeah.
50 Cent song?
Oh, it just it got like I felt anxious while listening.
Same.
And it's a song I would usually enjoy listening to, I guess.
Mm,
I haven't played it in a really long time, but
yeah.
if I were to hear it again on the road in a car or at the club, I would be happy about it. But just hearing it in that situation and having someone um m- like someone play it while she's having an interview, I think it was a very selfish, childish act. Like, why? Also, why now? Why on repeat? Why this loudly? And it just, yeah.
And also having this song being played during the trial was very fun to watch.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, the song because the interviewer
Yeah.
brought back her yes. Yeah.
But I think it just they just chose the most absurd song and added it to the movie and it worked. It was such an out of context song and I don't know, like everything worked about that movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't have something that's very special, but it's a very watchable movie. I don't know how to describe it.
I totally agree with that. However, I thought it was a bit too long. Two
Mm.
hours and a half for a trial like this. I think a movie like that could very, very nicely be done in an hour and a half.
Mhm.
So yeah, but there was a lot of silent moments. Like there was a moment where the son, Daniel, was taking a shower and it was just like 30 seconds of just we just see him like
Mhm.
just quiet in the shower and there was so many silent moments between like the characters, Sandra just thinking, and I think those were beautiful moments. But again, I still think the movie was very long.
Also, like, do you think it was worth its Oscar nomination? Because I think it was nominated. I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but I think it was nominated for Best Screenplay.
I think so. I don't remember what they won actually, but probably because I know they didn't win Best Picture, so yes, maybe Best Screenplay. And yeah, I think it was worth it because with indie movies, it's hard to be nominated for other things besides Best Picture and Best Screenplay. Well, maybe also Best Act. Okay, never mind. I take that back. But yeah, no, I think it was worth being nominated for Best Screenplay and winning
Mhm.
it because it's very original. And we were talking in the beginning about how there's too much, um, there's just too much, what's the word? Like so much exhibition in movies,
Yeah.
and this one didn't have anything very explicit, but it was still very worth watching.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Also, I love the scenery in the movie, all the beautiful shots of the snow in the mountains. I don't know where it was filmed, but it's amazing. It's so beautiful.
I was just gonna say I love the snow, and watching it made me feel so sad because we live in Montreal and we
Yeah.
barely had any snow this year. Like I have
Yeah.
friends who really like skiing and who weren't able to enjoy it this year
Mm,
because we didn't have any snow. And yeah, it's just made me miss the snow.
same. Winter is my favorite season. Shocking, but I feel like we've been robbed from winter this year.
Yeah.
So, this was our Anatomy of a Fall review.
Thank you guys so much for watching and see you next week for another review.
See you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.